Sababa Festival, honestly, it's one of the all my dreams come true into one place. That's really what it is. You want music, but what kind of music? You want not just music that you could dance to or sing to, but also music that you could play. Also music that's nagunim that you grew up with that touch you in your soul.
Right.
So it's music on every one of our frequencies.
Shalom, friends. Welcome to Orange Socks, a podcast celebrating Jewish creativity. I'm your host, Yitzchok Moully, inviting you to join me in exploring the soul of Jewish expression. Shalom, Alter. Hello,
Shalom,
welcome.
Rabbi Yitzchok. Thank you for having me.
Welcome to the Moully Art Studios. Welcome to the Orange Socks podcast. I'm sitting here with Alter Deitsch, and you wear a lot of hats. You wear a lot of creative hats, and I want to hear about all of them.
Okay. So I wear actively two hats.
Okay.
I run Sababa Music Festival with my partner, Mendel Sherman.
Okay.
It's a 4-day festival that happens once a year. We used to do more, and in Hashem we will. But there's once a year, 4 days. We have 1,000 Jews come out.
Right, so that's Sababa Festival. We're going to do a deep dive on
We'll
that.
deep dive that. That's Sababa. That's hat one. Hat two is Torah VR.
Right.
Torah VR is an interactive visual medium in virtual reality. We eventually want to go through Kala Torah Kula, but we're starting with the 613 mitzvahs,
Right.
and the kids learn it, and they test it, and they have to do the carbon. We show you how.
So I want to start off. Hopefully we got a big audience out there, but whatever you say in Hebrew, you're going to translate in English, so
100%.
that everything is broadly understood for a wider audience.
Yes. So Torah VR is trying to make the entire Torah interactive, fun, engaging experience as it was always meant to be. Torah is here to get you through life, not to be books that you have to dedicate time to learn. That's how we do it now.
Right.
And Rabbi Yitzchok Moully said that he's a great, I don't know how you translate Rabbi Levi Yitzchok of Berditchev.
A great Hasidic rabbi.
A great Hasidic master.
Rebbe.
So he said that, God, how could you have any complaints against the Jewish people when you put your magnificent magnitude in a book and you put the world out in our visible space?
Yeah, that's from Rabbi Yitzchok.
Exactly. That's a Rabbi Yitzchok Moully and a word saying. And that idea is basically the Torah is magnificent, God's magnificent. If it's in cold, dry papers, it's hard to extrapolate his beauty of what he's laying out. If we could make it an interactive medium that you could engage with it, viscerally, and Amir Tashem, please God, there will be an actual physical, visceral when Mashiach comes, when the Messiah. But in the meantime, at least in our virtual world, let's bring it to life. So that's the main goal over there.
All right. So that's a pretty lofty goal.
It's a massively lofty goal.
Experiential Judaism.
In fact, the lofty, it's a weird thing where I try to see what we're trying to accomplish, and I'm leaning on previous masters. It's just a weird thing putting yourself in their camp. But Rabbi Yehuda HaNasi, he took the oral word, and it was not meant to be written down. And the Rambam speaks about this in his intro to Mishnayos of why it shouldn't have been written down. There was good reasons to have a one-on-one conversation between a rabbi and a student.
That for thousands of years, it was the oral tradition, the oral Torah, that was handed down from teacher to student.
Starts from Moses, he gives it to Joshua, and goes all the way down for 1,500 years, something like that, till it comes to the Mishnaic Tanaitic period. And Rabbi Yehuda HaNasi, Rabbi Yehuda the Prince, it's going to get lost if we don't. He had good reasons why he had to go against.
Yeah, that's a beautiful thing to be inspired by and to emulate too, and that's your the whole Torah.
Just like he had to go from oral to written on everything, we have to take the written into the interactive multimedia.
Wow.
That's and it's not going to be single-handed, just like by Rabbi Yehuda HaNasi it wasn't. It's thousands of rabbis, over hundreds of rabbis, over hundreds of years. Mirz Hashem.
So I went to yeshiva, you went to yeshiva, a lot of guys went to yeshiva. What brought you? What's your creative history? What inspired you to even think along those lines?
Very interesting.
Take a few steps back and give us a little bit of your background and a little bit of how you got to where you are, and your two your two creative
There's
outlets
another
are very different to each other. So we're going to talk about that also.
There's another hat that I'll throw in afterward in the mix. I'm trying to try on a new hat.
Okay.
Checking out in the mirror, making sure it looks good. But basically, I didn't know I was a creative at first at all. It was not a thought that crossed my mind, not in any art medium.
How was creativity experienced in your family? What kind of family structure?
So
what's your Judaic background? Let's start with that.
Okay. So I'm from Crown Heights, Alter Deitsch. Even what the Lubavitchers call Gej is like sort of has roots in the old world. Geza literally means a root. And it means we have roots back in the Russian world.
Sure.
And we went to Altaira. I'm so gej that it's my Zaidi who built Altaira. Like, their names are on the wall. Like, I'm from Lubavitch.
Right.
I'm from Lubavitch.
Okay.
And art wasn't really a thought for those generations.
Right.
My father decided he wanted to be an artist. He wanted to be a graphic designer. His grandfather, my great-grandfather, ran a plastics factory, what the Jews called shmatis.
Right.
Everybody was in the textile industry.
Right.
So they ran a shmata factory, and his son did very well, and all of his sons did very well. And my father felt like, I don't want to do this same old thing. I want to go be
So you're fourth generation American?
Well,
is it, or the shmata was back in the old country?
The shmatas were here. But my Zaidi was born in Russia. He came here when he was 8. So I'm 2.5, 3.5.
Okay. All right. No.
Yeah.
So he came here and he didn't open a yeshiva. He opened
which is very interesting, by the way, because I had ambitions at one point to open a farm yeshiva.
You're one of those.
Yeah. 100%. It's also funny how that's become one of those. When I was thinking this at the beginning, it was like, okay, you crazy person. I actually spoke to somebody. She's a podiatrist in Israel, well-off doctor. I was staying at her house, and I told her I have this ambition. And she told me, in my family, she knows my family, she's neighbors, that's why I was staying by her. She's like, in my family, there are 2 different paths to making a yeshiva. I have an uncle who runs my Note yeshiva in Jerusalem.
Right.
And I have, maybe I shouldn't have said names, but we have one yeshiva and there's another yeshiva.
Right.
And she was basically telling me that the 2 paths are either go make money and then build a yeshiva, or go into yeshiva and fundraising and this.
Right. Bang your head against the wall and build a yeshiva.
And both are going to be done and both produce amazing results. But one, you're banging your head on the wall. And one, if I made money, first of all, I'm in a more comfortable space. I'm in a more I have a wider brain. And second of all, I could go to a rich person and say, I just put $100K down.
Let's partner. Let's do
exactly. I'm not coming here like this. I'm coming here. This is mine. Where's yours?
Match.
It just has a different dynamic. So we come from a place that they build these things, and they Kanai Nahara are doers, and it's really cool that I grew up at their table. That's where I get, I guess, some of the ambition to do things, not even creative or not, but the fact that you are capable to do things and set up things that didn't exist before.
Well, that's very much part of creativity.
To create something.
Exactly. To make something happen.
Exactly.
So your father already had this creative urge. You wanted to be a graphic
more the
designer.
Artistic, because the way we just defined creative was more in like functionary.
Well, it takes on so many forms.
Correct. So
your father wanted to be
a more artistic.
Okay. And how'd that go over at the time?
So at the time it was good, because graphic design at the time was very limited, meaning it was a tall mountain to climb. You had to learn computers that nobody knew. The programs weren't easy as they are today. Now,
was he successful as a graphic
artist?
So
he was successful because the barrier of entry was so high. If anybody needed anything made, they'd come to him. From business cards to a menu. I remember we'd go to some restaurants that my dad did the menu. They'd give us like, oh, we're working on this recipe, like take us to the back. It was a lot of fun. So the barrier of entry was so high that anything you needed had to go through this middleman called a graphic designer. So he did very well.
So did your father's creativity translate to you and all your siblings?
No.
That you picked it up?
I don't even think I got it from him. I'm retrospecting, looking back, that he was into his elements of art. Like when we had to do oak tags for projects in school, he'd sketch something out.
Okay.
You know.
Right.
My
So that's
bubby
beautiful.
was into piano. She wanted all my siblings to learn. They all got lessons. I did not. And now they don't play and I do. It's just a funny thing.
That's the irony, right?
That's the irony. I don't exactly know when I decided to be a creator. I do remember this one moment. It was very cool. I was in Yeka, is a camp in Ukraine.
Yes.
So we were there. It was pitch black one night. We went to the river and we were going to kumsitz. We were going to sing on the river.
Right.
And I didn't think of myself as a singer. I had nodules as a kid. I never thought at all of anything musical at all.
Sure.
And we're singing, and I'm singing along. And then the guy who I considered to have a good voice was like, Alter, like, help me for this high part. Like we have to carry this for the rest of them.
Right.
And I was like, what? Like, this singer invited me to the song?
To be part, to be an equal with him, to carry together.
Which was huge. I did not think that.
So that was a creative memory, a fun, key memory, core memory, you know what they call it.
I'd say so. I remember something. This is a core memory of yes. I remember a core memory of no. Okay. I was at a Seder Nagunim in Yeshiva, and I'm listening to the Niggin, and I always loved the Nagunim. I always loved the songs. And I hear a guy next to me harmonizing. And I didn't know what that was. He's singing the song, but it's not the song, but it fits with the song. It makes the song better. And I don't even know what he's doing. It was like not a concept. Nowadays with YouTube, I feel like knowledge is just more.
So how was that received, that harmonizing? Or was it just the people around him could hear it?
Yeah. No. It wasn't, I don't think it was a topic, not an issue or a good. It just wasn't a topic. I don't think most people even noticed.
Right.
Nowadays, I do have a theory on Lubavitchers not appreciating harmony. The idea of a niggin from a Lubavitcher's core perspective.
There's a purity to a niggin.
I want to see your soul.
Purity to
I want to see your, like, kishkes burning. If you're thinking about a harmony, it's a little more cerebral. You're way more up here.
Well, it also plays into the conversation of, an individual and being part of the collective. And something about a nigun is you don't have solos in a nigun.
No.
It's about being
harmony
part of the collective.
The collective.
The collective could harmonize. You're right. But I don't have an opinion either way, even though I pray nigunim, we're used to everyone's in this together.
Correct.
All on the same,
and there's whenever I try to harmonize, there's a level of mental going on, which takes you out of the visceral moment of a niggin. So I definitely understand why they're not into it.
So from your moment in Yeka, when you realized that you had, there was some creativity to you, and someone else saw that in you, and someone was trying to elicit that from you.
Yeah.
Had that translate to? What came first? Is it Torah VR? Is it what's the journey a little bit, the creative journey?
So from there, music was probably the first. Okay. Music, because that was like that moment, and I happened to have bought a guitar by my bar mitzvah because I was given a gift certificate to Sam Ash.
Okay,
and I wanted to spend it on my sister, who I told you my bubby was doing piano with her. I wanted to spend it on her. She wanted sheet music.
Right.
The guy at the store, regular dude in Sam Ash, he was like, wait. It's your gift certificate. She's getting sheet music. Get a guitar.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't want a guitar. He's like, dude,
get a guitar.
It'll sit in your
Life
closet.
will be better with a guitar.
Here's a guitar. And pumped, it was the right amount of money. I got a starter kit. So I had a guitar.
Right.
But I had no.
So when did you pick up the guitar?
I went to yeshiva. And since I had a guitar, I knew.
At what age-ish?
This is around 17 in California. I was in yeshiva Aral Chana Chabad for a year till the Rosh said bye-bye. And that was, by the way, just the bye-bye thing. We were great friends, me and the Rosh. I sat at his dining room table. We were like chavrussas. And then at the end of the year, just 30 of us. He was like, I need a new vision. So
fair enough.
But I knew like one or two songs just because I owned a guitar.
Right.
And I went to yeshiva. A guy had an electric guitar, which I'd never touched. Right. And it was, whoa. And I played my one or two like, meh, 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 meh.
Sure, yeah.
And he's like, oh, you play? I was like, no, I don't. So he says, you have a guitar at home? Bring it. Okay. He showed me the chords. He showed me the scales.
Yeah, that's a beautiful thing about yeshiva dorm rooms, and really any of these spaces where people just just get to, lift each other up a little bit. That, oh, you're interested? Oh, let me give you some more. Like, come, let's grow together. Let's learn together. That doing things again in a community as loose as and informal as it can be is we definitely lift each other up.
Huge. Yeshiva
Which is huge.
specifically is because you have so much time. Like,
There's a lot of energy, a lot of after
energy.
hours,
Yeah.
a lot of after hours energy, after hours time.
A lot of energy, a lot of guys, a lot of time. Those three,
Right.
if you want to be productive in any
right,
way.
you could get up to a lot of trouble, or you could get up.
Mind you, we had enough time to do both.
We'll save those stories for another time.
But yeah, so that was the guitar journey began. And then once you can now sort of start to figure that maybe you're a creative,
Right.
it doesn't have to lie in, okay, I just play guitar. Oh, I just sing. Oh, I can sing while I play guitar. Later in years, I was 20 doing my smicha. There were crayons on the table.
Right.
Never drew anything in my life. And playing with the crayons. We're sitting, we're hacking. And at the end of it, I had this gorgeous lion.
Right.
I'll show you, maybe whatever. We'll get it on the aftercuts or something. It's like, I mean, it's not something, I'm not turning it into a studio. I tried. I did speak to Reb Michal. But like, it was this gorgeous, colorful lion. I was like, where did you even come from? I did not know that was possible. Right. So that was the second brick.
But you defined yourself as a creative. That was part of your identity. Okay, so that's a huge thing. How we identify.
100%.
As a chassid defines certain, as a creative defines other things. So what came first, Torah VR or Sababa Fest?
Sababa came first. It's going into our 8th year in Mirz Hashem. And
why Sababa Fest? Why a music festival? Why a Jewish music festival?
Sababa Festival, honestly, like, it's one of the all my dreams come true into one place. That's really what it is. You want music, but what kind of music? You want, like, not just music that you could dance to or sing to, but also music that you could play. Also music that's nigunim that you grew up with, that touch you in your soul. Also the davenings. Also a shal shudas. Also shal shudas from some other community that you've never been exposed to that you're like, oh, what's that? Right. So it's like, it's music on every one of our frequencies. If you go to a non-Jewish music festival today, first of all, they're all genre specific. Right. Some will take 2 or 3 genres and mix it in. So I got this, I got that, done. Right. And none of them hit me in the soul. They all hit me in the body. I really enjoy it, but it doesn't. Here, you'll go from a davening with 500 people davening. To me, it's the highlight of the whole Sababa. Friday night davening is the highlight. 500 people singing, harmonizing. We go soft, we go power. It's insane. So that's davening. Then shal shudas nagunim, then also kumzitz by the bonfire that you're participating in, but then also the DJ, but then also the band, but then also matasyo. It's everything. It's music for a Jew, especially now that we have Bukharians there, and Persians, and Nanach, and Upper East Side, and everybody's there. You'll get so many Jewish frequencies running through your body, just musically. That's one. Not to mention all the food. The Persians are going to have gorma sabzi and a tea ceremony, and the Nanachs make infinite Nanach soup, and people are grilling, and everybody's bringing their culture and heritage and flavor, the modern version, the ancient version, from different sides of the Jewish spectrum, weaving together, making new things. Shidduch, we have 20 shidduchim that happened through Sababa, and it's not just shidduchim, it's shidduchim that would have never happened.
Right.
A Satmar guy, Lubavitch girl, like all this stuff. So the amount of new flavors emerging, it's.
You sound a little passionate about this.
I am in love. I am mamish in love.
So how did it come about? How did you? I mean, definitely, I can't imagine that what it is today is what you imagined it to be in the beginning.
I had,
but what was the? It was just for fun, just to get a few friends together. So how did it?
The beginning.
What was the motivation for this?
Beginning for me personally was I went camping with Michal Harari. We have the Camp Yeshiva Outdoor Adventure.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. I don't know. You're familiar?
Up in Vermont.
It's not anywhere. That's what is there?
That's something else. Okay.
So he travels.
Okay, amazing.
He travels. One year we were in California and we're hiking, Mount Shasta, and then sailing the Channel Islands, and then we're in Colorado, whitewater kayaking the Colorado River, hiking Mount Blanca.
Amazing.
We're in Washington hiking Rainier. We were real outdoors.
Real nature.
A 5-day trek with a backpack with all your food, like a real.
Yeah, sure.
He was, and I never touched nature. We're coming
from Brooklyn.
I once had a weird meditation. I was in bed. I was in my rectangular bed, in my rectangular room, in my rectangular house, on my rectangular block, in my perfectly gridded out city. And I was like, what?
We need to change it up a little bit.
Yeah, that's where I come from. You went from yeshiva. It's all what it was.
Right.
And then Michal. I mean, camp was a little squiggly, but like Michal, out there, YOA, Yeshiva Outdoor Adventure, nature, wow, Abishter. Climb a 14,000-foot mountain and just. So I fell in love with nature.
Right.
And then I come back to Crown Heights, and it's summertime, and we're adults. And what do adults do in summer?
And you're stuck in your grid.
And you're in your grid, and it's hot and sweaty, and it's internet. And I was like, guys, I have all this gear. I needed to buy a tent, but I had a lot of the gear. I'm like, let's go camping. Like, camping? I don't go camping. Nobody had heard the word. It's crazy. It's funny because now every week, Sababa aside, every week in the summer, basically from Shavuos till Rosh Hashanah, there's probably 1,000 people going camping in their own little. Right. It's just a culture now.
Beautiful. That is so healthy.
It's the healthy
that the young Jewish scene want to, get out and go camping, get into nature, and
100%.
And engage with each other and create community.
That's, by the way, one of the biggest things of camping. Nobody wants to sleep in a tent. People think we're going camping because we like sleeping in tents. Nobody likes sleeping in a tent. We like nature, but also when you sleep in a tent, you don't hang in your tent. You sleep. As soon as you're up, you're out. And when you're out, you're hanging.
Which creates community, and it breaks down the barriers, because in Brooklyn, you have this neighborhood, you have that
neighborhood. And he's in his bedroom, and they're
in
their house.
Yep, and he's in their shul.
Exactly. Here, everyone
just Jewish souls coming together.
Even at Sababa, there are groups. I said there's the Bukhari, there are groups, but it's out there. You walk around.
Right.
And it's all with the intention of inviting and come, and we're here to showcase and be us and witness you. So it's like a real, and camping just enables that. And nature is the best backdrop for it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that was.
Is there a it's a horrible corporate word, but is there like a mission statement or a North Star of, what you're attempting to achieve, or what you're trying to get out of it?
At this point, yes. At the beginning, no. At the beginning, I just wanted to do all the things I love. That was nature, that was music, that was art, that was Shabbos, with friends. Right. And Tachlis, at the beginning, it was, okay, here's 5 friends, here's 20 friends. And then other people started hearing about it.
Everyone brings a friend.
And before I knew it, I was at a place in Dewshore, Pennsylvania, a farm that my friend had. He moved to Florida. But I had 100 people there for a Labor Day. And I made all the food, and I planned out the thing, and I, single-handed. And I didn't have any intentions beyond, I like this stuff. Let's do it. People seem to like it. Let's get them on board. That was the entirety of it.
Sure.
Once Mendel Sherman, he's my partner in Sababa, he had been thinking about this for years. He had been thinking about a music festival for probably 4 or 5 years before I ever met him. He called the owner of that property in Dewshore, Pennsylvania, said, I want to do Sababa here. That guy said, talk to Alter, because he just had this thing and it was successful.
So that put you guys together.
So he was our shachan.
Okay.
Tachlis, we didn't even end up doing it there, but
the
important thing was done.
Put the two of you together.
Exactly. Right. So Mendel had an intention. His intention, I don't clearly know. I think it was about, like, festivals are good. Why shouldn't Jews have one? I don't know if it was any much more developed than that. The same way by me. I was like, camping's good. Why shouldn't Jews camp? It was very simple at the beginning. And after year 1, when we did it just for fun, these are the things we enjoy. Come hang out. After year 1, I realized, whoa, it's way beyond that. Right. At this camping, what I call diverse. Now I realize they're all just Ashkenazi Jews from Brooklyn.
but at the time, that was your idea. That was your
was we had Litbox, we had Lubavitchers, we had 3-4 different kinds of Hasidim, and everybody's hanging out together, a couple modern Orthodox, and look at this. And everybody's hanging, getting to know from each other, respecting, learning, enjoying, seeing the beauty in other ways. We had a tzitzis tying workshop. We had tie-dye tzitzis,
Right.
beged, and a bunch of strings, and people were
everyone
tying.
learned how to tie tzitzis.
And it turned into an entire halachic conversation. We tie like this, you tie, and it was not with any ounce of you're doing it wrong.
It was
this
just
is right.
just
This
sharing,
is my way.
This is your way.
And these are the intentions we have behind our version of this. And this is the conversation. Yeah, I was like, this is it.
That's incredible.
The intermingling. If you ask if I could have like a mission statement for it now, it would be the cross-pollination of all the Jews to learn from and grow from each other. And if I could be really hopeful, hopefully that could happen and form a real strong bond. And then we could do it with the rest of the world and get everybody to realize that you should be proud of yours. We shouldn't become homogenous and just become a blend, a melting pot. Right. You should be, this is me,
absolutely.
But I have space for you. This is my full, and I could realize and witness your full.
I am me because I'm me, and therefore I have space for you to be you.
Exactly.
Of,
Yeah, I don't want to give up mine. Right. I don't want to oppress yours.
Right.
I want to have both in full blast.
Sure.
To start it with the Jewish community is a place where, Baruch Hashem, the Jewish world is there.
Right.
We're no longer in the days of Satmar having a beef with Chabad.
Right.
And we're no longer in the days.
How Sababa Fest, what's the word? How is it being received by the broader, Jewish
like the
world?
Frum centers.
By the Frum, by Brooklyn.
Right.
By those square blocks in Brooklyn.
Right, exactly. It's a very good question. There has been one rabbi that called me into his office, and this whole story like really bothers me. He calls me into his office. I don't know if this is appropriate for your podcast either.
Yeah, well let me ask you this, because
I'll answer your question from a different tack. Basically, a lot of the rabbis say that, like, I remember when Matisyahu came out, for example, and an 8th grade Rebbe of mine, before we came out against it, was like, oh, this is great, he's talking Chassidus. And then as it became a thing, the rabbis, whoever they are, they were saying, not that it's bad, chas v'shalom, but it's not for you. Right. This is for them who need it. Right. They who are listening to the non-Jewish music, let them listen to this. Right. And that will be a light, but you who listens to Lubavitch and Agunim and Avram Fried, it's not for you.
Right. Okay.
So when Sababa came out, first of all, thankfully, we were kind of under the radar, which I totally appreciate. Nobody knew about us. Right. Even until today. Right. It's like,
it filled a need for a certain group of people.
Correct.
And it filled a need for them, and for those who it's not for you, it's not.
They
for
weren't
you.
even aware of it.
They weren't even aware of it,
which was pretty good as far as I'm concerned.
Yes, I hear.
Then when they became aware, we aren't anything classic that they could understand. If you're a Frum yeshiva, I know what that is. If you're a Chabad house who's a Frum person trying to talk to non-Frum people, I know what that is, Kirov.
Right.
But if you're from Frum, but playing Kirov on the from, what is that? They didn't really know what that is.
Right.
What we use,
and therefore they didn't know what to do with it.
Exactly. And when, unfortunately, and this is maybe a judgment on my part, but unfortunately, when the from right doesn't know what to do with a thing, they crank towards no.
Sure. It's easy. Right. I've had an experience, and the bottom line was, it's easier to say no.
Easier to say no.
Yeah.
This is a big new thing. I don't know what to do with it. Let's better not.
But so far at the moment, have you reached a point where the rabbis are understanding, or the rabbis have let me ask you this.
We have rabbis who come.
You have rabbis who come.
We have rabbis who come.
Listen, you can't condone, you don't condone everything that goes on.
Certainly
you're not. You're definitely not in control of everything that goes on.
Certainly not. But even in the public things, in the central things that we run, there have been questions. For example, our dance floor is mixed. We put up a mechitza for women that feel the desire on their own that they want to dance in a mechitza area, which from, if it's a religious perspective or just a humanistic, they'd rather just let loose without guys around. Either direction, that's calling them kol hakavod, but it was specifically requested by the women.
Right.
And we make a section, and we're not gonna, throw it off in the corner. It's in the front. It's on a corner, but it's in the front. It has access to the stage, and the women dance, and they have their own space. My main agenda, halachically, is that what we're putting down should be at a high level of kashrus as best as possible.
Right.
If you choose to do this the frumest way possible, you can be the frumest Jew through Sababa.
Right.
And then the choice is yours to do whatever you want.
Right. Right.
But I try as best as possible to be, you can do this frumly.
Right.
The shul has a mechitza, the dance floor has a mechitza, the food is all top level kashrus, the public spaces we request by the Ilam don't film, be on your phone, smoke cigarettes in your campsite. Your campsite,
that's your home.
That's your home. It's like a rabbi in a Chabad house. In the shul, don't pull out your cell phone.
Right.
At home, you're watching TV. That's your business. Right. So that's our take on it.
The beautiful thing, it's easy to say no. It's very easy to say no. It's very easy. Shut it down because maybe something. Who
knows?
Yeah. But the other hand is, you're providing a service is a horrible word. You're not providing a service. You're providing an outlet. You're giving so much more, and you're creating community on so many levels. No, halacha's halacha.
Halacha's halacha.
And Torah is Torah. And it comes down to what will make God proud, what will make God happy, what will make God smile.
Yeah.
And listen, halacha came from God. But I'm one of those, those stories of the Kukuriko, the kid who couldn't daven, and he made the animal sounds at the back of shul, and Yitzchok Moully said that, he opened the gates of heaven. That's my kind of Judaism. I daven 3 times a day. I keep kosher. I do all the things, but there has to be room within halacha, within Judaism, or maybe the word isn't there has to be room. Maybe that's not, but yeah, I think that the Eibishter smiles. I think the Eibishter
Thank you. I
really
that.
Appreciates. Listen, the mitzvah of Avos Yisrael.
That's number one. Hillel said.
If we need like a mitzvah to say, okay, we're sanctioning on the basis of that. It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
If I can, thank you. But if I can, I'd say in a maybe deeper way, Judaism, like all things, any successful thing, there's like a rebel leader saying, I'm doing this thing, and then it becomes, oh, that's a thing, and we make it a system,
right.
And then the system gets a little ossified and calcified,
right.
And then comes like a new rebel and like squeezes it open, and then that becomes a system. Avram Avinu, he's called the Ivri, Avram Ivri, because it means the other side. He was the rebel.
Right.
That's what it means. And then that became a full-blown religion. Then you have, I'm sure it happened many times throughout history, but let's just look at the Baal Shem Tov, and he's like, okay, we're going to now bust open what had become stodgy Judaism,
right.
And we're going to make this beautiful nigunim and learning and feeling and the person and the interconnection of the life. And then that became a stodgy situation, to even the point where his grandson, Reb Nachman, had to say, let's get out in the forest and do our own Hisbaitis. And then Hisbaitis became formulaic.
Right.
So there's this thing that happens, and it's totally natural. There's no one to blame. It's not pointing fingers. There's just a natural progression of what happens is that there's a rebel who starts a path. There's the followers who get enlightened, and then the followers who codify. And once it codifies, it ossifies. And once it ossifies, comes a new rebel and shatters it a little open. What I believe we're doing here, what I want to be doing, I want to bring some of the fire back. Well, instead of cold cut, we do it because we have to. I want to bring feeling back. And the way, my premise on how to do that is first and foremost, get out of the city. First and foremost, get out of the city.
Get into nature.
Get into nature. Right there, you've already broken half of the squareness.
Right.
Right there.
Right.
That's step one. Step two, start meeting other Jews. Because novelty is the spice of life, and it's the spice of Judaism as well. I was in a show once, and it was a Sephardi show, and I take Nusach Sfard Siddur. And Lubavitcher comes over to me, he's like, oh, I have a Nusach Ari for you.
Right.
I'm like, no, I'm fine. He's like, oh, maybe you didn't hear, like, I have an Ari.
Right.
And I was like, I'm happy to explore this davening that I'm so familiar with in a new frame of mind, so that I can reapproach it and keep it fresh.
Yeah.
And like, to me, I'd almost recommend switch out your sitter every year or two.
Right.
get in a new frame of mind. So get out of nature, do it with other Jews, and with both of those ingredients, new things just start to happen.
Right.
Like I said about the tzitzis conversation.
Right.
You know, I didn't know that there's even different versions of I forget the numbers, like 9, 11, 13, you know, and these guys just do 1, 1, 1, 1. Like, and there's shit that's behind it and good ideas.
Absolutely.
So
it's not an escape. That's
no.
It's not a getting away.
No.
It's a come, let's build and let's grow.
Yes. Like again, lahavdil. I don't know if you lahavdil, but like when the Jews would go 3 times a year to the Beis Mikdash.
Right.
Is it an escape from day-to-day life? I would not use that term.
Right.
Is it the pinnacle of life? I would use that. Is it a template on how to live the rest of your life? Not necessarily. Maybe for special times.
Right.
Like I can't imagine, even though I do have a dream of owning our own Sababa property, and we would run multiple events throughout the year, and there would be a community that like is involved.
A farm yeshiva.
Exactly. All my visions intertwined. So even though that is there, but like I would never really recommend let's do Sababa all year round. It just
it doesn't. It would lose its magic.
Shalish Pamim Bashana. God set God, the one who knows all.
Exactly.
Till Mashiach came Shekula Shabbos U'Menucha. It's a separate story. But
so with Sababa, it's all creative, but it seems like you're setting up the parameters to allow other people to be creative.
Yes, be the stage.
Right.
100%.
So you create the stage.
Yes. And that's we were discussing. I don't know if we mentioned it while we were on the pod, but discussing how we put on programming, we have scheduling, we have a stage, we have davening,
right?
And then we are encouraging the build out of these groups, and they have their own programming, and they have their own meals, food tastings, jams, bonfires, all that other stuff. So I know that to be a collaborative, creative thing, it cannot be me. The word collaborative means it's not a one-man show.
Sure.
So we're here to not just will we build stages where people can mix. I want to build a stage where other people can build smaller stages.
Right.
So there's mixing at every level.
Yeah. Well, in a post-October 7th world, Jewish pride is an achdos and bringing Jews together.
100%.
Is the pinnacle of what we need at the moment. Yeah. So I suppose this summer there'll be a lot of healing. There'll be a lot of gathering. There'll be a lot of crying, and there'll be a lot of Jews coming together.
Yeah.
So,
by the way, I feel it every year when I go to Sababa for wherever we end up. I open the door, I step out onto the ground, and I feel it every year. I'm looking forward to this year. There's like we're gonna do it. Like the land is ready.
yes.
Like, ugh. And then as the thing's happening, my body's just getting racked by chills all day long. I'm feeling the healing melt at people hug me in gratitude.
Right.
And they're in this rage of passion. And they give me this like visceral hug, and I feel power swirling all around us. For a week after Sababa, I could probably jump onto the Empire State Building just because 1,000 people poured their life into me.
Right.
And you could feel the healing just, it's wild.
That's awesome. That's really awesome.
It's, thank you, Abishter. Yeah. So that's some of Sababa. You can talk about Sababa Mamish. Talk about Sababa Mamish forever.
Right. So that's one hat.
That's one hat. That's one hat. Oh my God. Something that I'm hoping to tie into that. I just recently got involved in a band.
Okay.
It's not my band. Yossi Zucker, the Ayeka Project.
Okay.
He recently came out with 5 songs, and they're produced by him and his producer.
Right.
But then when he plays it live, so we did a show a few months ago in Manhattan. We're going to be doing a show July 14th. in Manhattan, the Cutting Room, I believe. That's not finalized.
Oh, that's not Sababa.
No. When me and Mendel were setting the schedule, the Ayeka project wasn't quite like we hadn't practiced enough that I was confident enough. Okay. Now I totally love it. But that's something I'd love to
get on stage and jam. You'll
honestly, yeah.
if you can.
Yeah.
All right, so you've joined a band. You're following someone else's lead, but you're getting to express.
I follow other people's lead. I've never meaning yes and no. I casually do things without a plan. Like I started going camping with my friends.
Right.
to the point where it came to 100 people, to the point where Mendel invited me onto this bandwagon.
Right.
I've been involved. I was doing Tanya Shiurim just on Facebook, the Daily Tanya, a little synopsis. I was doing that. And then I heard about animated Tanya that other people were doing. So I was like, ooh, get me involved. I like Tanya. You do Tanya.
Right.
And that turned into Torah VR.
Right.
This band is Yossi Zucker's making music. I play guitar. I've done jams. I've done kumsitzes. I follow people's visions because my visions are I don't have enough gvura. I have so much chesed. I have so much to explain it to the crowd. There's like effusion
Right.
and discipline.
Right.
So the effusion of the things I want to do is everywhere.
Right.
From farm yeshiva
Right.
to the property to the bands to the art to like I'm
You want to
here.
do it. You want to do everything.
And I can't limit myself and say no, we're doing this. But if I see somebody else doing something,
Right.
and they're doing this, I can be like, ooh, that sounds great. So I join people's bandwagons.
So that's a insightful way to put it. That's because I want to do everything. I got a laundry list of ideas.
Yeah.
And even maybe I'm trying very hard to push myself into the limited, scope of public art, Jewish public art. But that idea that, you see someone else having some focus, some gvura, if you want to call it that, and then you can plug into their, and then develop that with them even further.
100%. And I bless everybody to be as lucky as I have been with good partners.
Right.
Good partners. These guys who like picked up a mission, picked up a thing, and like, let's go. And they're like, hey, Alter, you're interesting enough, creative enough to have insight into this. Come for the ride. And it's like, yeah, sure. So I bless you with your laundry list of, good partners in Mirz Hashem, somebody that's running down a certain road that you're like, ooh. So whatever, in any capacity, I just bless everybody, good partners, and be a good partner.
Amen. Yes. Yeah. Well, that's the other part of being a good partner.
Yeah.
Sure.
Otherwise, nobody wants to invite you onto the team.
So Torah VR started off as
Torah VR started off, for my personal journey with it was I was doing Tanya synopses on Facebook.
Okay. So you were just putting out
my phone,
putting out shiurim daily, day by day, chita style.
Yeah.
The daily Tanya.
And I wasn't like reading it. I was like Shakla V'Tarya. I was like explaining the ideas over.
Right. So you were just communicating concepts.
Exactly. And I loved it. And then I found out that a friend of mine he hadn't begun. He wanted to do Tanya animations. And I reached out to him and I was like, I just did the last year and a half doing these Tanya classes. I'd love nothing more than to be involved in an animated, like that's wild.
Taking Tanya and animating it.
Yeah. And he was going to fundraise it. Again, like having a good partner.
Right,
he was going to fundraise it. He got the animator on board. I was going to write it and like depict it, like vision board it.
Right.
And the three of us, and then eventually after the second episode, we got another team member and another. There was like 5 of us at the end. And we create 6 because somebody did the sound. Indeed. So the 6 of us.
How often were you putting out a piece?
It took a long time. Because also there wasn't like money.
Right,
There was
right.
money.
Right.
So people were doing it out in their spare time. We did 5 episodes over the course of probably a year.
Okay.
They're on Chabad.org. They're on TorahVisuals.com. They're on YouTube Torah Visuals. I love them. I think it's fantastic. And that was the beginning of scholarship with a visual component and thinking about, especially with Tanya, especially with Shar Yichud Ve'emunah, of how you're going to take these ethereal, out there ideas and somehow bring it right here.
Right.
And that process just like, woof, I loved that. And Baruch Hashem, I think we did decent amounts of justice. One thing that I do struggle with a little bit, but I don't. The one thing I struggle with a little bit is the idea of why they never wanted drawings to be of the avos, or never, there's the rabbis don't like that. You could do it in profile, like there's different,
right.
But they never wanted you to have a picture because then people will think, oh, this is it.
Right.
And it's not it.
Right. So how do you?
So for me, first of all, we spoke to a rabbi for this, and he said if it's chinuch, then all bets are off.
If it's for educational purposes,
exactly,
you can depict Abraham, Yitzchok, and Yaakov, and so on. Or
So
whoever
that
it is
was
you need to communicate these values.
which once
these
I heard
ideas.
that, and maybe he meant kids,
Right.
but I heard that
We're all,
and I was like,
we're all on the
everybody's
learning. Right. We're all learning.
and this is all teaching.
It's not entertainment. It's learning.
Right,
It's
100%. We're
much.
here to teach. We're here to learn. We're here to grow. So once I heard that, I'm like, okay, good. But also, I don't really struggle with it because as I've gotten more and more into the scholarship of Torah, there's so many mafarshim that'll read a pasuk and say, this is what it means.
Right.
This is what it means. Rashi sometimes will say, there are two opinions. It means this or this.
Right.
And people always did that, and they were the authority
Right.
wherever they were. And people didn't have libraries, they didn't have Safaria, where you could hyperlink everything. When they read that the Malbim said that this is what it means, that's what it meant.
Right.
And somehow the rabbis were cool with that. So
there's enough room.
There's enough room.
There's Shivim Panim LaTorah, 70 faces to Torah. There's definitely different ways of understanding. So you depicted. So we started with lessons of Shayach Emunah, which is what the foundation. What would you?
So Shayach Emunah, the actual translation is the gates of unity and faith.
It's the foundations of faith.
Of what is God? What is this world in relation to God, or Bichlal in general? And essentially, it's the Alter Rebbe's statement of what is reality. That reality, according to Tanya, which is the Hasidic bedrock, the Chabad Hasidic bedrock, what reality is there's just God. When we say Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad, that there is only Hero Israel, Hashem, your God, Hashem is one. When we say that, we're not saying there's one God as opposed to many gods. Monotheism as opposed to polytheism. That's not the statement.
Right.
The statement is there's one God. All that exists is God. And we are different rays of light, manifestations of this one thing. What am I? I am made up of the substance of God, His light.
100%.
And there's only one being, period. And the Alter Rebbe goes through, okay, so there's one being.
And you attempted to communicate this visually.
One visual we had, we never even ended up doing it. That was supposed to be episode 6. But this was my favorite one, was if you're going to have somebody saying that God is your energy, that's who you are. Me talking right now is God, like almost puppeteering me right now. So a way to depict that was with a baby and you doing peekaboo with a baby. Right. How could God be here? And the Alter Rebbe says God is here, but He's also not here. He's hidden, but He's not hidden. So how do you do that? Peekaboo.
Peekaboo is a
When you have a child, they have object impermanence. They don't. As soon as you're out of sight, you're out of mind. You don't exist.
You don't exist.
So if you do this and then you do that, you just were invented. Where did you come from? So God doing this is Shem Elikim, blocking Shem Havaya.
Exactly. Yes.
So is this blocking? It's His hand. A hand can't block it. It was a good, fun idea.
So what was the creative process on that? Because there must have been so much.
Oh yeah. So it would start off with me learning it and learning it and learning it and learning it and learning it. I would learn from Tanya itself first. Try to get the Alter Rebbe's words. If I struggled, I'd take a peek into the lessons.
Right.
After I got what I thought the Alter Rebbe wanted to communicate as best as I could, I then opened Reb Yael. He opened Reb Yael and
Reb Yael Khan.
And he has books taking the Tanya, just like ripping it wide open. And learning Reb Yael, you realize that not that you didn't get it. You did get it.
But there's so much more to it.
There's more to get. Right. There's more layers you could get. It's like, woof. One thing I remember learning from Reb Yael that I did not understand in the Tanya, and it's just huge. There's a basic idea in Chassidus. I don't know if we want to get too deep into it.
Yeah.
Also, I don't see the time, but there's a basic idea that there's lights and vessels. Yes. And the light is the real energy, and you need a vessel to contain it, to give it shape and form, and then that's how you make things.
To be able to utilize it. Pure light cannot create a world.
So you have the modern thing, let's just say lahavdil, you have electricity. Electricity's raw power, what is it? I don't know. But if you put it through a fan, it becomes air. If you put it through a fridge, it becomes cold. If you put it through an oven, it becomes hot. Right. So is this like almost amorphous energy? Put it through a keli of altar, and now it's altar. Put it, and it's more complicated than that. That's the overview.
Right.
The way Reb Yael was explaining it was that not only does the vessel give shape to the light, but as the light sees the vessel, before it even comes in, it starts to shape itself
Into the vessel.
so that it could fit in.
Wow.
There's just by the mere presence of a vessel existing, the light starts to contour itself to fit it. And I was already thinking about quantum and the slit theory, and how just having a visualizer, somebody that could receive the message, already influences reality. It was like a whole, but anyway, Rebbe and the Tanya, and just wild stuff. So one other thing I want to say about creativity before I forget the point, because I wanted to mention this. Creativity, and you said earlier at the beginning also, it's not, just art or whatever. Creativity could be in any medium.
Sure.
I want people to also be able to view scholarship as being capable of creativity, which
But of course.
but of course, it's just for me.
Chidushay Torah. Like I was talking to someone about, I don't know, this is years ago, about creativity, and they couldn't understand whatever it was. I'm like, Chidushay Torah, ideas in Torah, and all of a sudden he's like, oh.
And you have to be mechadish in Torah.
You have to be mechadish in Torah. You have to come up with ideas. It's not about, it's about taking, filtering, as you said, understanding, and then communicating in your way, becoming the keli to communicate the Ur.
Yeah.
Which is Malchus to ready the next level.
100%. Malchus receives everything and then passes it on.
Okay.
100% with a new color and flavor, becoming a whole new world.
You told me something here tonight.
We're here to learn.
A new perspective, absolutely.
Good.
Absolutely.
I appreciate that.
But the Tanya project what was it called?
It was called, there's Torah Visuals.
So you got 5 episodes.
We got 5 episodes.
And then the Kalim exploded.
Exactly.
Well, the money ran out.
Which, by the way, if anybody listening wants to light us up, we have the scripts ready to go.
Right.
And it's $15,000 an episode.
Come on, AI could pump this out.
Honestly, we did this before AI.
Yeah, I know. You should. I don't know what AI knows about, Earth to tell you Kalim and Tzimtzum,
but by the way, that's something very special, by the way. A lot of the Hasidic idea of, you said the Kalim broke, Shviras HaKalim, the shattering of the vessels, when that happened in primordial land, in the world of chaos, so those sparks went into the world.
Right.
And a Jew's mission or a human's mission is to interact with these sparks that are wrapped up in Gashmi and physicality, corporality, make tefillin out of a cow, and you clean up that spark.
Sure.
We did that. We did it with all physical matter.
Right.
What have we not done that with is with the internet, AI, VR. These are new corporal things that have massive sparks in them that have yet to have been purified. So this mushal that we talk about of the 288 sparks are in the world, do tefillin out of a cow. It's a great mushal. Right. We've done that 3,000 years ago. Right. What is your avodah today? To find another cow? Right. It's the next generation of sparks that technology has.
Right. So taking technology, using technology at the frontier. So what are you doing?
Exactly.
What's this VR?
The Torah VR is one of those.
So give us one.
We do with AI.
There's the Bet HaMikdash.
Yes. So Torah VR,
project.
As we said, the mission is to take the whole Torah and turn it into multimedia interactive format. Where to begin?
Right.
So we chose to start with the 613 mitzvot because it's universal to all Jews.
Sure.
As well as we started with the Beit HaMikdash ones, because one of the most powerful elements of VR is immersiveness, take you somewhere.
Right.
If I could bring you somewhere that you can't otherwise be, that's like, wow.
Right.
So taking you into the Beit HaMikdash, that was a cool, I've never seen this before. I've never been here. So we started with those mitzvot. We're continuing down that path. We've also started to do within the mitzvot, the holidays. So focus on Purim. Right. Focus on, we just did one on the Omer. We're in Sfiras Omer now. Right. So you have to go to a field.
Each one is an immersive headset experience.
Yeah, so we have 2 models. One model is we own 50 headsets.
Okay. And
we'll come to your school. We were just in Hafter, and I saw your beautiful art cup.
Yes.
It's gorgeous. So we go there with 50 headsets. They'll send us 2 classes at a time.
Right.
Kids get 40 minutes. They run around, explore the Beit HaMikdash. Beautiful.
Right.
The other model is a school buys their own headsets.
Okay.
They pay for a subscription.
Okay.
And now we have just about 50, 60 mitzvot that we've created curriculums, interactive
Right.
games.
That was my next question. Are you creating curriculums, or
Constantly.
it's not just the entertainment of the experience? No. It's integrated.
100%. Now, something that I did recently, we realized that it is education, but there's so much entertainment value there. And education oftentimes, especially when it comes to halacha, minutia, it's like you have to be like this.
Right.
And in the entertaining thing, and I'm going to say, oh, so it has to be black and square. Something's got lost.
No, well, learning isn't supposed to be rote and boring.
Correct.
We've made it that way.
But too much entertainment, we've lost some of the detailedness of it.
Okay. All right.
So what we did recently, which I'm very happy with, we wrote curriculum for each mitzvah.
Right.
So we'll trace it from the psukim. The teacher will learn with the class.
Okay.
In this pasuk, God said, do this. That's the mitzvah. Trace it through the Rambam, the halacha, a relevant piece of Chassidus, Gemara, whatever's relevant to the conversation. Once they learn it, and they've sort of like gotten a bit of a handle on it, now you've earned go into the VR, and they'll have a much greater appreciation.
Absolutely.
And when the way I built the curriculums, it's all discussion-based as well, because I want the kids to already think like scholars. In a pasuk about the Aron HaKodesh, it mentions the 4 rings on the Aron, and then later in the pasuk it says the 4 rings on the Aron. So does that mean 8 rings? The pasuk mentioned 4 rings twice.
Right.
Does it mean he just repeated the idea of the 4 rings? And all the Mefarshim give different answers.
Right.
So like before we read the pasuk, then I ask the teacher to ask the class, what do you think bothers the rabbis with this pasuk? And see if they could generate that scholarly conversation, then see the sources, then go into VR and experience it for yourself. It's bringing them from the book. We want to, but I don't want to lose the book. Just like Rabbi Yehuda Hanassi didn't want to lose teachers.
Sure.
I don't want to lose the book. I want the
It begins with the book, and
exactly
comes out of there.
And then they could like visceralize it. So we have 50 mitzvahs. Schools could have their own. We're in 30 schools right now around the world. There's Australia, London. It's all over the place.
Wow.
And they have their own headsets. We're constantly putting out new stuff. We just did Omer. We're working on, the year is almost over. So for the next school year, we're going to have Tishrei ready to go, the Sukkot and Yara Shoshana. So schools are signing up, and the teachers get paper curriculums to learn with the kids, then go in and interact and do the mitzvahs in VR. And we're in conversations with going through Nach, the stories of Nach. And you talk about creativity. It's so much fun sinking teeth into this. I have what are you going to do with VR that's more than just doing it on a 2D screen?
Right.
What would be more? So an idea that we wanted to do, I already wrote a script for it, is Avram Avinu. We're telling the story of Avram. At some point, he has a confrontation with his dad.
Right.
And his brother Nachar's there. And then they get into a confrontation. Avram runs away.
Right.
Now you, as the viewer, have a choice. Do I follow Avram and see what story that takes? Do I stay here and watch what happens with Nachar and Terach?
Right.
And the storyline continues on both.
Okay.
So now you are there. You're bearing witness. It's not just a 2D and I take you where I want you.
Right.
You're in the room. What are you going to do? You can't interact. You can't influence the story, but you could witness the ways it unfolds, and you choose your own adventure.
And that's for all.
I mean, it would be difficult to write the scripts, but you'd have to be very creative every single time.
A lot of if this then that,
But if this then that, so that's a hopeful next project. We're talking to somebody, fundraising an idea for that. So it's Hashem. That's Torah VR. And
well, you're definitely passionate. You're definitely passionate about your Yiddishkeit, about your Judaism, and about your projects.
Gotta be. If we're not, what are we even doing? If you're not passionate, go find the thing to be passionate about.
Yeah, absolutely. I've done many art shows over the years, and one lady in some place somewhere said, "Oh, are you only allowed to paint Jewish subjects?" I said, "No, I get to paint whatever I want, but I choose to paint what I'm passionate about. And today, I'm passionate about my Judaism, so I paint Judaism. Please go out tomorrow and the day after and the day after that." So yeah, there's so much there's so much to achieve right here within the paradigm of our own Judaism, or all the things that we want to say within Judaism, that, I get worried that I'm running out of days to achieve all the things that I want to achieve.
Yeah, there's a lot.
And I'm still young.
Right.
And that's within Judaism. So yes, there's a lot more. There's other things that I want to do too, but it begins here. I'm most passionate about Yiddishkeit, about expressing and communicating and sharing. Thank you. This is wild. I love your excitement. I love your energy.
Thank you. It's an absolute pleasure.
So my closing question on the Orange Socks podcast.
Orange Socks podcast closing
is question. What inspiration, what ideas, what advice do you have for young aspiring curators, young orange people, for them to find their own orange socks?
Yes. I actually gave a talk on this recently. Expose yourself, first of all, to as many different disciplines out there, because you don't know what you're interested in. I didn't know I liked music till we were on the river in Yeka. I didn't know I liked drawing till I found the crayons and started doing it. Expose yourself to as many disciplines as possible, especially when you're younger.
Sure.
You mamish don't know. Get into karate. Take a 3-week course intro. Take the intro course to everything.
Right.
Take the intro course. Take 101 biology. Take 101 karate. Take 101 painting. Take 101 filmmaking.
At least the ones that draw you.
Exactly. If you already have one that's calling to you, and if not, go on Google, say top 10 hobbies, and just say yes.
And then?
So first, exposure. That's first. Then, hopefully, you find the one that calls to you, and you go further with that. And then, hopefully, if you're really lucky, Walter Isaacson talks about this. He's a big biographer, and he said all the greats, he did Steve Jobs, he did Leonardo da Vinci, he did Benjamin Franklin, he did Einstein. So all the great, he just did Elon Musk. What they're really good at is not that they're amazing at biology, they're amazing at technology. What they're good at is being good at multiple things and finding the intersection where the interdisciplinary connection could raise both. Right. So Steve Jobs is an artist and a technologist. So we get Apple beautiful technology.
Right.
Nobody was into beautiful technology till an artist and a technologist in one
came together,
saw that crossroad and came together and did the thing. So first you expose yourself. Then you find the ones that you're interested in and you advance that. And then you find the intersections of that. And that's what Sababa is.
Right.
It's, I'm into music. I'm into art. I'm into camping. I'm into Jews. I'm into davening. I like Shabbos. Sababa.
Amazing.
So that's what I'd say is first expose, then advance, then interdiscipline.
היום נעשה משהו בלתי נשכח